Common investment scams. A fool and his money are soon separated. But a fool and a scammer are a match made in money heaven. An IncomeLuxe lesson. Now that we know the common tactics, let's go over the common investment frauds that scammers try to run. This will clue you in on how the scams work, and what they usually do to try to get your money. This is in no way, shape, or form a complete list. There are new scams that come out all the time, and it'd be a full-time job just to keep track of them all. In alphabetical order, this is what you be wary of when you see it coming. Advanced fee fraud. The first fraud is the advance fee fraud. This scam requires you pony up cash at the start for any investments. This is usually disguised as commissions, taxes, or fees, but they must be paid before you get any investment assets. These people will even pretend to work at a reputable firm, so always get their regulatory details from the broker. They'll usually promise for a significant return later on. But joke's on you, because that money gets hijacked, and the scammer disappears with your hard-earned cash. Expect to be told to wire this commission to some escrow service, lawyers, or whatever else. Binary options. Binary options are not automatically scamming. They are allowed, but shouldn't be, honestly, in many parts of the world. But they don't comply with many first-world regulations, especially when they are foreign companies accepting investors. Binary options are basically options contracts that pay out if a yes or no scenario occurs. If yes, you get paid. If no, you don't get paid. Here's the catch. You lose all your money if no. You might make a 25% return or a 50% return if yes. Clearly, those aren't in your favor. And that doesn't include the chance of the event even occurring, which is usually not a 50-50 chance. Where's the scam? Not paying investment account gains, disappearing with investor funds, stealing identities of customers, manipulating trades, all kinds of shady things get done by binary option companies. Just stay away completely. Boiler room scams. If you've never seen Boiler Room, you should definitely watch the movie. It's a good time. But a boiler room is a group of people who band together to sell investments via phone and email. They'll have an extremely professional-looking website and documentation. You can see where this is going. The investments don't even exist. After you've written your checks and transferred your funds, they shut the office down, the proceeds are kept amongst the team, and you're screwed. Exempt securities scam. This scam is relatively simple. Most investments require registration with federal security regulators. In fact, very few don't. The few that do are for accredited investors, millionaires or high-income individuals. Where's the scam? Fraudsters will often say their investment is exempt from regulatory registration, but they'll be selling some random penny stock, the next Amazon, or a fund. All of which will require regulatory registration. Even if their investment doesn't, they will need to be registered and licensed to sell investments. But if you ask them, they'll say something like, "We don't need to be licensed to sell this investment." That is your keyword to run. It's likely a scam. High yield investment program. This is usually like the exempt securities scam, except they're promising you high returns at low or no risk. The sellers are not licensed or registered, and the investments are usually always unregistered, because they're fraudulent. These are almost always frauds. Annualize the return, get their license and registration numbers, for both them and the investment. Offshore scam. Those pesky regulators are always regulating and licensing, but they're doing it in that country over there. What if we get those people to send us their money over here? And now you have the offshore scam. While there are legitimate offshore investments, most you should join this Liberian stock market rally pitches are merely an attempt to get your money sent to a bank account far away from your domestic regulators and court systems. They are merely separating you from any legal repercussions you could inflict on them for scamming. Ponzi scam, aka pyramid scheme. Ponzi schemes seem legit because you actually get paid. But where do your payments come from? They don't come from the underlying investment, they come from the next investor. Ponzi schemes recruit via spamming as many people as possible, while promising amazing returns. You'll earn what you think is investment returns. In reality, they're just paying you the next guy's investment. Eventually, there's more people owed money that are coming into the scheme to pay money, at which point the entire thing falls apart. Either the con men will vanish with the cash, or they'll get arrested and charged like Bernie Madoff, while little money gets recovered. Pre-IPO scams. Pre-initial public offering scams promise to get you a buy-in on shares before they hit the IPO and get traded on the public market. Naturally, they're swearing you'll get a huge return off the IPO, But there's a small problem. How do they have the shares? Why aren't they waiting to get that return on the IPO? How would they even facilitate the transaction without an exchange? Are they even registered to sell investments? How are we sure there's even an IPO? Skip these for obvious reasons. Prime bank scam. This scam is the same promise of high returns and low risk. Only it involves an extra crusty layer of complete BS. Supposedly, they're offering you the exceptionally low-risk option of a prime bank or prime World Bank-backed investment security. The prime bank is some well-known bank that everyone has heard of, the IMF, World Bank, Federal Reserve, Bank of England or whatever. This is a total lie. Why? Because these banks don't sell investments to normal citizens. They sell investments to governments, investment banks, and occasionally major funds. They don't sell to citizens. If someone gets on your line and says they're allowed to sell on behalf of a central bank, cuss them out and hang up the phone. An IncomeLuxe.com lesson. Promissory notes. A company can get cash flow by selling promissory notes, which are a form of debt. The investors buy the notes, loaning money to the company, and getting paid interest in return. But there's a big problem. Is the person on the other end of the phone licensed to sell this investment? Is this a registered investment? Both must be true for the promissory note, since these facilities must be registered with the SEC and state securities. Usually, a standout point is that the promissory note has very high return relative to other promissory notes, and a very low risk for that return. Look at registered promissory notes return rates to get an idea of what's reasonable. Pump and dump. Pump and dumps happen with legitimate investments in the open market, making it one of the rare schemes that happen with registered and regulated securities. Typically done to penny stocks and thinly traded over-the-counter investments, the scheme starts by promoters buying the stock. Then they spam the market with false positive rumors that get everyone to buy, typically driven by inside information that's going to take the stock sky high. After others have bought into the hype and cranked up the share price, they unload their investment before everyone else realizes it's complete BS. Then the price collapses, and everyone else loses their money. Commonly done with penny stocks and cryptocurrencies no one's ever heard. But they're always destined to be the next Bitcoin. Similarities. If you're paying attention, most of these scams have a few commonalities. If you pay attention when making and choosing investments, you'll easily be able to dodge and avoid schemes, scams, and frauds. Let's go through them so you can stop sleeping walking into rip-offs. Aggressive selling. These guys sell you hard, but when was the last time Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan had to sell you this hard? Never. That's why it's a warning sign. Unregistered investments. You won't find these investments listed with regulators. If you do, the details of the investment won't match what they give you, because they just found one with a similar name. Unlicensed sellers. No FINRA, no SEC, no FCA, no ASIS registrations. Oh, so these guys just got their career started? Well, you have to be licensed first, junior. Hang up. Risk-free investments. Whether backed by a prime bank or backed by a central bank, there's no such thing as risk-free. Ever. It simply doesn't exist. Hang up. Getting the best returns ever? If it's such a great investment, why are you so desperate to get people into it? You're trying too hard. You know what people do with 50% a month investments? They hold them. Why are you selling? Scam. Rushing the buyer. If the demand was so high for this investment, if it was really high quality, you wouldn't need to push people into it like Darth Vader. Not needed. An IncomeLuxe.com lesson summary. Most investment scams fall under categories. Advanced fee fraud is pay upfront for costs usually after. Binary options fraud is typically structured for your failure. Boiler room frauds sell fake investments via mass cold calling. High-yield investment fraud promises big returns but are fake. Offshore fraud asks you to invest outside of regulatory reach. Ponzi schemes pay previous investors with your investments. Pre-IPO fraud pitches investment in a company that will IPO. Prime bank fraud sells bank-backed assets. Backed by banks who don't back assets to the public. Promissory fraud sells unregistered promissory notes. Pump and dump sells you assets they bought before selling them. These scams usually involve thinly traded penny stocks or crypto. Always avoid sellers using aggressive selling, unregistered investments, unlicensed sellers, risk-free investments, and pressure tactics, such as buy now, limited time, few spaces. About IncomeLuxe.com. Thanks for using this free lesson on investment scams and avoiding fraud. This lesson is provided free of charge by IncomeLuxe.com. IncomeLuxe is a financial social club for those who want more. We introduce you to over 140 online income streams. Then investment, finance, economic, and income stream lessons are simplified and handed out to the social club and website members. Members get paid commissions for anyone they refer who buys a monthly, quarterly, or annual subscription. To learn more, join us at IncomeLuxe.com or Skool.com/IncomeLuxe.